Welcome back. All right, so St. Patrick's Day, all that. So, of course, Toronto jumping in wearing their St. Patrick's jerseys. I've always liked those. The funny thing is they don't really sell. I think I'm one of the few that likes it. I have a Tavares St. Pat's, the jersey, the white one they wore tonight. I decided to wear the green one because why not? I don't think I've worn this one in a video in a long time. And, yeah, so we had 10 games tonight. Some interesting results as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. Let's go ahead and jump in with the Leafs at home against Carolina. It was Freddie Anderson, former Toronto Maple Leaf, going into Toronto against Källgren. Källgren, I feel for the kid right now because with this result, as it goes along, you know, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And I genuinely hope that this story continues. So again, they're wearing the St. Pat's jersey. The shots are 4-0 Carolina 5 minutes into the period. So 4-0 the shots, and the Canes look pretty good. In fact, the first half of that period, they looked fantastic. I think the shots were like 10-2 at that point. Lawrence has a chance that's saved and held. The Canes get a power play. That's killed off. Bunting fires one wide as the Leafs press, and then Mikheyev scores from Hall at 15:48. So it's 1-0 Toronto, even though they're being outshot badly. The Canes then press. They draw themselves a power play. That was killed off by Toronto. So we go to the second period with the score 1-0 Toronto. Shea's robbed on a turnover, and then Marner would score on a rush from Liljegren and Tavares at 4:39. Marner then almost adds another on the next shift. So they're up 2-0. And you could see like the confidence picking up as this game went along. Canes seemed out of sync. Good puck pressure by the Leafs. Jordan Staal then ends up hitting a post. Canes press. Slavin has a stick break during that pressure. Martinook has a net feed that misses, and late in the period, there's saves by Källgren to keep it 2-0. So now we're into the shutout streak of Källgren, right? Third period. Early press by the Canes. Some back and forth chances follow. There's a near miss for Mikheyev. And then Ethan Bear breaks up the shutout from Fast and Slavin at 4:09. We then get a power play for the Leafs. That's killed off. The Canes had some momentum, but on a turnover and against the flow of the play, as it looked like Carolina might tie this and go ahead, Kasha scores from Nylander and Kerfoot at 7:20. Shortly after, we get too many Leafs on the ice. The Canes get a power play. There's a shorthanded chance for Marner that was defended out, and then we get a shorthanded chance for Mikheyev, and that he couldn't bury it, but they do kill it off. Goalie pull with 3 minutes left. The Leafs are shot blocking then as the Canes press. Canes ice the puck with 1:33 left, so that means they have to put the goalie back in. Takes them a little while to bring the goalie back out. They also call a timeout with 58.7 seconds left. They eventually do score on the 6-on-5. It's Trocheck from Svechnikov and Slavin. That's at 19:56. That is as close as Carolina's going to get. Toronto wins this one 3-2. They go to 39-17-5. Carolina, 41-14-5. Your 3 stars. Källgren, first star again. Mikheyev and Marner, your second and third stars. The shots, 14-6 Carolina in the first, 8-6 Carolina in the second, 14-9 Carolina in the third. Final shots, 36-21 Carolina. Power plays, Carolina 0 for 3, Toronto 0 for 1. The hits, 41-36 for Carolina. Anderson saves 18 out of 21. Källgren saves 34 out of 36. So, since the Leafs won both games during the suspension of Austin Matthews, we can only assume Matthews has been the problem. Right? I'm kidding, of course. I will say this. When you have a key player like that out, it does mean that the team has to rally around, and you do get a different feeling from the team when that's going on. So that could be the case in Toronto. And then when they get Matthews back, in theory, they get even better, right? Okay, next up. Dallas in against Montreal. Oh, this was so close. Honestly, this was really, really close to being one of those games that gets away from them. So in this game, we had Jake Ottinger against the returning Jake Allen. So Allen back in net. Hintz tests him immediately. Habs get a power play. That's killed off. Raffl was robbed during a Dallas 3-on-1. Peterson has a shot that's saved and held. Hoffman, shot blocked as the Habs press. There's a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. Habs get a second power play. That was killed off as well. Faksa would open the scoring late. He scores from Raffl and Radulov at 18:33, and he buries it from the side of the net. Initially, the announcers didn't know how it went in, and it was kind of a sneaky goal there by Faksa. Habs did try to answer, but after the first period, it's 1-0 Dallas. Second period, Gallagher has a slapper that's saved. The shots are 3-2 for the Stars at 8 minutes. Habs get a power play, though, and they score on it, and it's Caulfield. Goal Caulfield is back from Suzuki and Weidman at 9:36. A great cross-ice pass by Suzuki. Caulfield and Suzuki are a special tandem together. The Habs have some momentum. Loud fans too. Pressed by the Habs then with 8 minutes left. The Stars would get a power play. This is a power play goal. Ben, it's interesting because, or no, it's not a power play goal. It's right after the power play ends. I was looking down here at power play things. Ben scores from Lindell and Klingberg at 15:51, and it's right after the power play ended. So that makes it 2-1 for Dallas. The Stars then press for another. Hintz couldn't bury one on a fast break. 33 seconds left. The Stars get another power play. That rolls over into the third period. Sagan has a net feed that deflects out. Ben has a chance that's saved. That power play's killed off. Pavelski can't bury one in close. The Habs then get a power play. That was killed off. And then they have another that follows up on that one. That one's killed off by Dallas as well. The Habs actually had 7 players on, so it becomes 4-on-4. So what happens is that it's a delayed penalty, and so instead of throwing one extra guy on the ice, they threw 2, so it becomes 4-on-4 rather than a power play for Montreal. But during that 4-on-4 at 8:52, it's Suzuki from Caulfield and Romanov. So Caulfield with a goal and an assist in this one. That ties the game up at 2. And then the Habs press. They can tell. And Schoenemann gets his first NHL goal from Pitlick and Dauphin at 12:47. But to Dallas's credit, they do answer. It's Klingberg from Ben and Gurianov at 15:14. The Habs then press. Ottinger saves. Armia with a near miss with 1:40 left. With 1:19 left, the Stars go to a power play. Klingberg, shot saved. The Habs clear it out. They get to overtime. In the overtime, Stars control. However, the Habs did finish off the kill. Robertson has a shot that's blocked. The Habs control. Petrie holds it. He was ragging the puck a lot out there. Caulfield has a chance to deflect out. The Habs then get a power play. 2:41 left. So they get their opportunity. Dallas, to their credit, they kill it off. And then with 10 seconds left, Klingberg wins the game for Dallas from Ben and Sagan. And they reviewed it to see whether or not there was any goalie interference that would have changed the result on the goal. There wasn't enough there for them to overrule the goal call on the ice. The interesting thing to me was that the assistant coaches stayed behind the bench for Montreal. Marty St. Louis was just gone. So your final score is 4-3 in overtime for Dallas. They go to 33, 23, and 3. They would briefly be above the playoff line. Montreal 16, 36, and 9 with the loss. Your 3 stars in this one: Klingberg, Caulfield, and Suzuki. Shots 12-9 Dallas in the first, 10 apiece in the second, 9-7 Dallas in the third. In the overtime, the shots are 5-4 Montreal. Final shots 35-31 for Dallas. Power plays: Dallas 0 for 4, Montreal 1 for 5. The hits 43-16 for Dallas. Ottinger saves 28 out of 31. Allen saves 31 out of 35. So Dallas survives the scare. This doesn't necessarily make me feel better about things because, again, you want to, as a Dallas fan, I was looking at this and going, this is one they probably should have won in regulation. I still have some concerns coming out of the game. All right, next up, Nashville. The Preds in against the Flyers. And, of course, it's Giroux's 1,000th game, and it looks like it's his last. He will not be traveling with the Philadelphia Flyers on their road trip, so it looks like he's going to get moved. And rumor has it he's refused moves to either New York, the Rangers, or Boston, and so it's probably going to be Florida. By the time this video is done, I may have to do a video on Giroux being traded to Florida. Saros versus Hart in this one. Early chances for the Predators, and then Giroux starts generating opportunities of his own as well. Shots are 6-3 for the Flyers at 5 minutes. Hayes is denied on a turnover, but they turned it over again. And then Sanheim puts it in the net at 7:44 on that second turnover within seconds of each other by Nashville. Flyers get a power play. They get a second power play, which then becomes a 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. Saros, Snow Angels to deny McEwen. There's a post for Brassard, and in the last minute, there's a press by the Flyers. So it's 1-0 Philadelphia after the first. Very good home period for them. And so in the second period, well, Nashville kind of starts to take over. 23 seconds in, Jeannot scores. He wires it under the bar. Preds then looking for the lead. The Flyers would get a power play, and they score on it. It is York from Konechny and Farabee at 1:22, and then Philadelphia gets the lead. It's Van Riemsdyk from Atkinson and Brassard at 3:48. The Preds, though, they press to answer, and they do. It's Philippe Myers, his first goal as a member of Nashville, and of course he was brought over in that trade with the Flyers. From Yossi and Cousins at 5:16, the Flyers get a power play. That's killed off. Predators get a power play as well. That's killed off. We then get a 4-minute power play for the Preds, and during the first 2 minutes, Nashville scores. It's Johansson from Granlund and Yossi at 16:05. So that makes it a 3-3 tie. The second power play was killed off by Philly. So we're going to the third, and it feels like Nashville's got some momentum. And at 1:11 of the third period, they score to go ahead. Forsberg from Yossi and Duchesne, that's the first lead of the game for Nashville. Again, it feels like, yeah, Nashville should win this game. They should be the better team. Result of a really strong press, though, for that Forsberg goal. The shots are 8-2 for Nashville halfway through the period. There's a press by the Predators with 9 minutes left. Hart gets knocked down, but he does get back up. He admitted after the game he wasn't wearing a cup on a shot that he took, which apparently you can see Sanheim just laughing about. So I don't know if that was by choice. I would think no, but again, I don't know how that, anyway, it just seems weird. I mean, you can forget things. That's something you don't necessarily want to be forgetting. There's a 10-minute period here where there's no shots for the Flyers either. So it's just all Nashville. JVR gets robbed, but then they jam it in. So Brassard scores. They challenge it for a high stick, and the referees look and they go, yep, there's a high stick there, so there's no goal, and the fans aren't very happy. We then get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Hayes would score from Ristolainen at 15:45. That ties the game up. There's pressure then by the Predators with 3 minutes left, looking for the lead back. However, Farabee scores to put Philadelphia back in the lead from Hayes and Sanheim at 18:41. For the record, Farabee was said of that, Claude Giroux said of Farabee that Farabee's going to break all his records at some point. So he thinks highly of Farabee, and at a young age, Farabee looks pretty darn good. Goalie pull right after with 24.3 seconds left. The Preds call a timeout. Whatever they discuss doesn't work. Your final score is 5-4 Philly. They go to 19-30-11 with the win. Nashville falls to 35-22-4 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Giroux, Farabee, and Yossi. The shots, 17-11 Philly in the first, 11-8 Philly in the second, 15-5 Nashville in the third. Final shots, 34-33 for the Preds. Your power plays, both teams go 1 for 4. Hits, 38-32 for Nashville. Saros saves 28 out of 33. Hart saves 30 out of 34. And after the game, Giroux came out as the first star, and he saluted the crowd and did the whole, lap of the rink with his stick up. So he knows this is his final home game as a member of the Flyers, and it's too bad, at least for this year. There's the possibility he goes somewhere else, and then he signs back in Philly as a free agent during the summer. That is always possible. Not probable, but it's possible, right? Okay, next up, Washington, the Caps. So here's your no mercy game of the night, and really for Washington, this is a drubbing. This is one of those things where if Columbus wanted to get closer, this game just really underlines the fact that there aren't any races left in terms of teams trying to push for a playoff spot in the East. Your top eight's your top 8, your bottom eight's your bottom 8. So it's Vanacek versus Korpisalo in this one. Early Nyquist rushed, he fires that wide, and then Mantha scores from Oshie on a break at 4:29. So a turnover, and it ends up in the Columbus net. The shots are only 2 apiece at 5.5 minutes. That goal by Mantha was the second shot for Washington. Caps press at 8 minutes, but they don't get shots. In fact, they go 7 minutes without a shot. Their next shot goes in. It's Mantha at 12 minutes and 20 seconds. So Mantha with a couple of goals. Nyquist then has a 2-on-1 chance that's saved, held on to by Vanacek. We get a power play for the Caps. That's killed off. With 2:24 left, Columbus gets a power play. That was killed off as well. Orlov has a chance that's saved in the closing seconds. So after one period, the score is 2-0 for Washington. That starts to expand in the second period. At 1 minute and 20 seconds, Feavari on a 2-on-0, he kind of dekes around and puts it 5-hole from Sprong and Carlson. So that ends Korpisalo's night. Merzlikins goes in. Caps get a power play. There was a shorthanded chance for Sillinger. That was saved. They do kill that off. And then I noticed the announcers talking about this Nordiques jersey they saw in the crowd. And I mean, looking through the TV, just the placement of the center, the center So, or captain. The captaincy, which should be here, was kind of down around here. And just looking at the jersey on TV, I was like, it looks like a fake. So while they were talking about, oh, it's a classic, first off, I was thinking, A, it looks like a fake, and B, why would there be a Nordiques jersey at a game between the Caps and the Columbus Blue Jackets? I'm fascinated. So, and of course at games you see that. You see jerseys of teams that aren't even in the game. Columbus gets a power play. They score on it. So it's Bjorkstrand from Voracek and Domi at 6:57. But the Caps then get a power play and they score on theirs as well. It's Ovechkin at 10:24 from Sherry and Wilson. Columbus then gets another power play. Laine was denied during that. That was killed off. Columbus with a net crash. That draws a crowd. It's going to. Another Columbus power play. And that's killed off too. So we're going to the third period with the score 4-1. At 1:47, Laine makes it a little bit closer from Werenski and Peak. The shots are 4-2 for Columbus at 3 minutes. Can they come back? No. It's McMichael at 4:15. And then what's listed as an empty net goal, Sherry, from Van Riemsdyk and Backstrom at 7:18. And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen an early goalie pull because you're down by a bunch. And then just to really put it home that this is not going to be a comeback, Kuznetsov scores on a goaltender from Backstrom and Ovechkin at 9:03. So, rough night overall for the defense/goaltending for Columbus. Columbus gets a power play, that's killed off. Caps get another power play, killed off as well. Lots of power plays in this game. Your final score is 7-2 for Washington. They go to 34-18-10 for Columbus. They're 31-28-3 with the loss. Your three stars are Vanacek, Mantha, and Ovechkin. The shots, 13-8 Columbus in the first, 17-15 Columbus in the second, 11-10 Columbus in the third. They actually outshoot them in each period, end up outshooting them overall 41-33. Power plays, Washington 2 for 5, Columbus 1 for 5. The hits, 16-15 for Columbus. Vanacek saves 39 out of 41. Korpisalo saves 6 out of 9, and Merzlikin saves 20 out of 23. So you can see there that, yes, that's an empty net goal for Sherry. Again, I was watching a lot of games, so once this one became 5-2, I was like, that's done. And then I saw there was the 6th goal. By the time I go back, I see the Kuznetsov 7th goal, and I just assume, yeah, so empty netter, you do pull the goalie early because you're down by 3. So it doesn't work out in this case. Sometimes it does. But anyways, we'll move on. Islanders in against the New York Rangers. And it's Sorokin versus Shesterkin, so you've got two goalies who will be compared to each other, you would think, for a while in their careers. They're in the same division. And so, yeah, here we go. Early edge for the Rangers. The shots are 3-1 in their favor at 6 minutes. Sorokin right out of the gate looks like he's trying to steal one here. Sorokin has a fantastic stick save on Panarin. I have no idea how he does that, but that's kind of the idea. Goalies should be making saves that we look at, and we go, I don't know how you do that, because they are able to do those things. Trouba has a shot that's blocked. Good back and forth chances at the halfway mark. It's a physical game. We didn't have any fights to that point. Ryan Reeves turned down a fight with Chara. He was at the end of his shift, and it looked like Matt Martin wanted to go with him, and he had no interest in that either. Barzal with a net feed, that won't go. Late power play for the Islanders. There's a shorthanded chance for McKegg, that was saved. Dobson blasts one wide. So we go to the second period with 50 seconds left in the power play for the Islanders. And they score on it with 1 second left in it at 49 seconds. It's Lee from Barzal and Dobson. So that makes it 1-0 Islanders. Now, I also want to throw this out there. This game was going much faster than the others. All 5 of these games start at the same time. This one understandably delayed because of the 1,000 game Giroux ceremony. But this one was faster than the others. This one was close, but this one was pretty fast. So, and all of these goals definitely would cause more stoppages, right? So, Lee gets that one. The Islanders then look for another. Barzal has a rush chance that's saved. There's a power play for the Rangers. It's unsuccessful. Goudreau has a screenshot that was saved. I have no idea how Sorokin saw that one. Palmieri's denied. Kreider was robbed shortly thereafter. So, again, Sorokin. Both goalies look pretty sharp. The Rangers get a power play and they score on it, and it's Chris Kreider, to the surprise of no one. From Lafreniere and Trouba at 13:38. The Islanders get a power play. It becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. There's a late power play, though, for the Rangers. and it has 14 seconds left to start the third period, so the Islanders easily finish that off. Hedel fires one wide on a rush. The Islanders press at 8.5 minutes. There's a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. 6 minutes left. The Rangers are pressuring, but it is the Islanders who break the tie. It's Palmieri from Pulock and Pelech at 17-16. So big goal there for Palmieri, who seems to be heating up. So the Rangers pull the goaltender with 2 minutes left. They're unable to tie it. The Islanders win this one 2-1. They go above 500. They're 25-24-9. The Rangers 38-18-5. So they do slip back a bit in their division. They're now in third. But again, we've got a lot of time left, right? 3 stars in this one. Sorokin, Palmieri, and Shesterkin. No surprise that both goalies are in the 3 stars. Your shots in this one, 12-7 Rangers in the first, 11-10 Islanders in the second, 10-8 Islanders in the third. Final shots, 30-28 for the Rangers. Both teams go 1 for 3 on the power play. Hits 27-21 for the Rangers. Sorokin saves 29 out of 30. Shesterkin saves 26 out of 28. Very good game, very close. And again, the Islanders would love to spoil things for the Rangers. Make life more difficult for the Rangers. I think they're on board with that. That being said, I need to change boards. Okay, I also want to throw in here that I'll upload this, and if it doesn't go live on the channel quickly, I will upload it to the Entertainment Guy as well. I have no idea why it gets stuck buffering on the main channel. Not much I can do with it. It does eventually go live. The thing YouTube always tells me is, don't worry about it. Just post it when it's ready. Okay, guys, this is time-sensitive material, so I need to get it posted as quickly as I can. And it's the same with other videos too. Where they're like, just wait. I'm not doing makeup tutorials. All right, so it's Pittsburgh against the St. Louis Blues here. Jarry versus Husso. It's the video you never knew you wanted until now, isn't it? It's not happening though. So there's an early 5-on-3 for the Blues. Yeah, they have a 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 34 seconds in the first minute of this game. And I kind of felt like this might be where Pittsburgh wins it. So Tarasenko's denied. The Pens are shot blocking as well. That power play's killed off. The shots are 6-3 for the Blues at 7 minutes. The Penguins press at the half, and eventually it's Ruhwedel. He gets a goal from Pettersson and Zahorna at 14:42. Penguins get a power play. That's killed off. Krug gets a chance that's saved and held. I thought Krug had a pretty good game offensively in this one. Not that he gets on the board. But we go to the second period. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Blues get a power play. There's a shorthanded chance for Bluger. That's saved. Notice that the penalty kill has gotten better for Pittsburgh since Bluger came back. I don't think that's a coincidence. So yeah, that's killed off. The Penguins then get a power play. That's killed off as well. Matheson, though, would make it 2-0 from Kapanen and Marino at 10:52. And this was all Pittsburgh in the second period. The shots are 16-2 for the Penguins with 5 minutes left in that period. But in those final 5 minutes, St. Louis wakes up. It's Perron from Barbashev at 16:55. It's a fast break goal, and that's a 5-game goal-scoring streak for Perron. Blues get a power play late. Strong penalty kill by the Penguins. Strong goaltending from Jarry as well. Kills that off. Early in the third, St. Louis ties it. Barbashev from Saad at 1:49. And it was a turnover. It's a face-off win by Malkin, and Saad just goes and gets the puck, gives it to Barbashev in front of the net, and he puts it in. So it's one of those things where it's a really smart play by Brandon Saad. Shots are 5-2 for the Blues at 5 minutes, and it felt like it had really shifted. The momentum had shifted to the Blues. But Matheson backhands one wide. The Penguins press. The Blues get a power play. Jarry's neck guard gets broken by a shot. Scary looking. And then he was out there without the neck guard, which I think is more scary. And we get 4 seconds of 4-on-4. We end up with a power play then for the Penguins with 9:49 left when those 4 seconds were done. Malkin has a chance kicked aside. Crosby's denied twice. And Penguins call a timeout. They don't score on that power play. Penguins are pressing. Husso holds on to it. And we end up going to overtime because Ville Husso is fantastic. Blues control on the faceoff. Krug ends up hitting the post. Who's that close to getting on the score sheet. Buchnevich is denied on a net drive. Schen's denied. The Penguins rush. Malkin's denied as well. Great overtime. Krug can't bury one. Rodriguez has a blast that's saved. We go to the shootout. In the shootout, it is Brian Rust that gets the winner for Pittsburgh. They win 3-2 in the shootout. They go to 37-16-9. As I said, with the Rangers lost tonight, they now move 2 points ahead of the Rangers. For St. Louis, 34-17-9. They do get the point. Your 3 stars are Jari, Husso, and Matheson. The shots, Pittsburgh, all the way through until overtime. 9-8 in the first, 17-6 in the second, 15-7 in the third. In the overtime, both teams had 4 shots. Final shots, 45-25 for Pittsburgh. Power plays, Pittsburgh 0 for 4, St. Louis 0 for 5. Your hits, 30-17 St. Louis. Jari saves 23 out of 25. Husso saves 43 out of 45. And yeah, pretty interesting result. And St. Louis would likely feel pretty fortunate they come out of this with a point, and Husso doesn't have to buy the beer when they're on the road for the rest of the season. I would think. I would think that somebody else will pay for his, because yeah, if he's a beer drinker, maybe he doesn't. I don't drink beer, so maybe he doesn't drink beer. Maybe he likes seltzer. Maybe to be seltzer, right? We're at a bar. You want seltzer? I want seltzer. I'm Ville Husso. All right. Anyways, moving along. Buffalo. We could kind of see this coming, couldn't we? The Edmonton Oilers desperately needed a win. So, if you guys are listening, this is what you do. So, you have a bottom feeder coming in. This is what you do. So, it's Anderson versus Smith in this one. Mike Smith needed a good start. He gets it, right? Shots are only 1 apiece at 3 minutes, and I thought that was important, right? If you're Buffalo, you want to keep the shots down. You want to make sure that things are pretty tangled up. Dahlin has a point shot that's saved and held. Yamamoto opens the scoring. Yep, he scores for McDavid and Ceci at 7:21. The shots are only 5 apiece with 8 minutes left. So again, Buffalo's doing their best to keep the shots down, but the Oilers are ahead. Bouchard has a rush chance that's saved, and then during the press that follows, Edmonton makes it 2-0. It's McDavid from Yamamoto and Kane at 13:10. The Sabres do press to answer. Kane has a turnover, the chance is saved. Kane gets the turnover and his chance is saved. Final minute, there's a press by the Oilers, so it's 2-0 Edmonton after the first. Second period, Dahlin drives Nurse into the net. Dahlin seems to be getting a lot more physical right now. We saw that in the outdoor game, right? And again, that was a cross-check and that was a penalty. But it just seems like he's got a chip on his shoulder right now. He didn't take a penalty for driving Nurse into the net. Thankfully, Nurse is okay, as is Smith. Puck went in during that kerfuffle, but the play was already dead. So I'm not sure why. They seem to be reviewing at weird times now. The Oilers get a power play. Edmonton calls a timeout. There's a shorthanded shot for Asplund that's saved. That power play's killed off. Shots are 4-3 for the Sabres at 8.5 minutes. And then Draisaitl on a fantastic second effort. He puts it in. Hyman with the assist at 8:42. It's 3-0. The Oilers press for another. Puljujarvi with the net feed. That's defended. And then at 13:42 it is Nurse scoring from Draisaitl. So that makes it 4-0. The Oilers have a 2-on-1. Near miss for McDavid. Hyman's denied. It is all Oilers at this point in the game. So we go to the third period. Early press by the Sabres. And they would score to break up the shutout. It's Olofsson from Asplund and Middlestad at 3:21. So that makes it 4-1. Smith saves the next Olofsson shot. Hinostroza has a net feed that's held. The Sabres get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded goal for Edmonton. It's a Shore scoring from Barrie at 5:15. Nick Shore suddenly heating up in terms of his goal scoring. The Oilers then finish off the kill. The Oilers would get a 4-minute power play later in the game, and Barrie scores during that from Fogle and McLeod at 15:36. To the Sabres' credit, they kill the other one, but your final score is 6-1. Yeah, it's 2 goals in each period by Edmonton. Pretty consistent. They end up going to 34, 23, and 4. For Buffalo, they're 20, 33, and 8 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Smith, Yamamoto, and Hyman. The shots favor Edmonton the whole way. 12-7 in the first, 13-11 in the second, 11-10 in the third. Final shots 36-28 for the Oilers. Power plays, Buffalo 0 for 1, Edmonton 1 for 3. Hits 29-25 for Buffalo. Anderson saves 30 out of 36. Smith saves 27 out of 28. And if not for the Olofsson goal, but hey, these things happen. So yeah, big game for Edmonton. They maintain their position. How did the Canucks do? Not great. So it's Nedeljkovic versus Demko, and it's nice to see Stetcher back in Vancouver. I wish Troy Stetcher was still on the Canucks. I don't know if that's a popular opinion, but I do miss Stetcher on the Canucks. Early press by Vancouver. Pettersson has a chance that's saved. Demko then holds on to a screenshot. The Wings press after a turnover by Quinn Hughes. Horvat fires high on a rush. The Canucks press at the half. The shots are 8 apiece with 8.5 minutes left. Wings get a power play. That led to a shorthanded chance for Lamico, which was saved and held. Power play then ends. And Larkin with a net feed, that gets blocked out. After the first period, Detroit was the better team. They were out shooting Vancouver and out chancing them. And so going into the second period, it kind of felt like, Demko's keeping this thing scoreless here. Wings press at 3 minutes. However, they don't get shots out of that. At 5.5 minutes, the shots are 6-0 Vancouver. There's a power play for Vancouver, but just as it ends, Suter scores from Nemesnikov at 8:09. So it's not officially a shorthanded goal, but it's a shorthanded goal. Because at the time he's scoring this, the player's coming out of the box. He's barely got a foot on the ice, and Suter's got it in the net. Wings then press for another. The shots, though, are 7-6 Vancouver at the half. Garland has a net feed that won't go. Besser can't take a good feed as well. Larkin, it looked like he might have got cut with a skate. I think it was Hamonic that kind of stepped on him. And it wasn't that Hamonic meant to step on him either. He got pushed into that. So he exits to check. They do wear Kevlar socks now, which is good, because he would come back. No skate cut. So that's great news if you're a Red Wings fan or if you're Dylan Larkin. The Canucks press with 4 minutes left. Nemesnikov's then denied on a break. Garland was denied on a break as well. 19 seconds left. The Canucks get a power play. So we're going into the third. And at the start of the third, they bring up a graphic. Detroit against the NHL has a save percentage of .885. Against Vancouver, going into the third period, their save percentage .986. It gets better in the third period, actually. And this is something that I remember way back when. I've told the story before, where the Canucks seemingly made Curtis Sanford look fantastic every time they played against the Blues. He could have 4 or 5 really bad games, play against Vancouver, and save 37 out of 38. That's how it felt. And so, making it look like a goaltender's having a fantastic night can happen. And I'll get into that, because I'm not trying to say that Detroit had a bad game, because they didn't. Horvat has a tip that's saved, and that power play's killed off in the third period. Canucks are doing some line juggling. It really doesn't make a difference. Wings are blocked in the middle. Miller has a blast that's saved and held. Garland's denied on a rush. 11:44 left. The Canucks get what would be their third and final power play. Pearson had a net feed that was cleared out. The Wings killed it off. They had a very good penalty kill tonight. Their penalty kill coming into tonight had been poor on the road for a while. And again, they're making Nedeljkovic look like Dominic Hasek. Wings press with 7 minutes left. The Wings had a 4-on-2. Demko saves there. And the Canucks would eventually pull the goalie. It doesn't matter. They lose this one 1-0 at home. Detroit 25-29-7 is their record. Vancouver drops to 30-25-7. This one hurts. Their upcoming schedule is tough. The Canucks have some really tough games coming up. They have 2 games against St. Louis coming up. They have a home-and-home against Vegas coming up. They have to go to Colorado next week. There's some tough games coming up. Winning a game at home against Detroit was really kind of vital for them. So your 3 stars in this one are Nedeljkovic, Demko, and Larkin. Your shots, 18-12 Detroit in the first, 17-13 Vancouver in the second, 14-4 Vancouver in the third. The final shots, 43-35 for Vancouver, but high danger chances 5-on-5. The Wings out-chanced Vancouver in high danger opportunities 14-5 at 5-on-5. And that, to me, is where the difference maker is. Detroit was getting those really high danger opportunities. The Canucks weren't. So shots from the point, floaters, bouncing pucks, the kind of thing that Nedeljkovic can just grab and hold. That seemed to be a lot of what was going on out there. Power plays, Detroit 0-for-1, Vancouver 0-for-3. Hits 25-18 for Detroit. Nedeljkovic saves all 43 shots for his 5th career shutout. He was good. He was positionally sound tonight. Demko saves 34 out of 35. Kind of a wasted great start for Demko. And again, the Canucks' upcoming schedule is very difficult. So, again, this does not make things easier for Patrick Allvin going into the deadline. If you come out of this game, does that change your opinion on what the Canucks should do? Does it not? Of course, this does mean that Miller's 13-game point streak has ended. And, so rough night for Vancouver. That being said, moving on. LA. The Kings have been terrorized by San Jose all year. Tonight, you could tell pretty early on it was going to be different. So it's Reimer versus Peterson. The Kings press at 3 minutes. In fact, 4 minutes into this game, the shots are 4-0 for the Kings. They are not leaving anything to chance tonight. Grundstrom has a chance that's saved. Danault has a rush opportunity that was saved as well. We then get a power play for the Kings. Their power play got a lot of work in tonight. Kaliev has a chance that's saved. There's a post for Kempe. They do kill that off, and Reimer's the one keeping this scoreless after the first period. Reimer played very well tonight. Second period, early power play for the Sharks. Couture has a shot that's blocked. The Kings kill it off. They do allow 2 shots during that power play. Kings rush then draws them a power play in response. It's killed off. The Kings, they'll go back to the power play. A lot of power plays. And Kopitar scores during this one from Durzi at 6:57. So Kopitar gets things going. This is good news for the Kings. Sharks press with 8.5 minutes left. The Kings get another power play. Sharks, though, they shot block. They do kill it off. But Danault scores on a face-off win. He wins the face-off, gets it to Durzi. Durzi gives it back to him. It's in the net at 16:27. 2-0 LA right there. We then get a delay of game call against San Jose. So that's the 5th power play for the Kings. That's killed off. The Sharks then have a power play. So they have 1:18 of power play time to start the third period. Down 2. The Kings kill it off. Again, 2 shots by San Jose on that power play. Sharks press at 4 minutes. There's a power play for the Kings. That's number 6. That was their final power play of the night. We then get 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 47 seconds. So that 6th power play lasts 13 seconds. Everything gets killed off out of that. That's the end of the power plays for the night. Shots are 4-2 for the Sharks with 8.5 minutes left. Sharks press with 6.5 minutes left. Strand was denied. For LA, it was a great shot. It was the first one they had in 12 minutes. Kings then dealing with a goaltender being pulled by San Jose with 3:25 left. Best way to answer that, get Adrian Kempe out on the ice and get him his first goal in 11 games. He scores that at 17:04, makes it 3-0. Goalie gets pulled again because they're down by 3, and why not? In the end, the LA Kings win this one. It's a shutout, 3-0. They go to 34-21-8. San Jose's back down to NHL 500, 26-26-8. Your 3 stars, Peterson, Kopitar, and Durzi. Shots, 10-6 LA in the first, 14 apiece in the second, 9-3 San Jose in the third. Final shots, 29-27 for San Jose. Power plays, the Sharks 0 for 3. The Kings 1 for 6. Hits, 26-16 for San Jose. Reimer saves 24 out of 26. Again, I thought he played well. Peterson saves all 29 shots for his 4th career shutout. So, Peterson, whose numbers have been off lately, that definitely is going to help to pick them right back up. Okay. Final game of the night. Florida's not looking like Florida on this road trip. All of a sudden, things seem to be kind of, off. So I can understand why they pick up Sherratt. Odds are, by the end of this video, they may have Claude Giroux. And I get it. This is a team that I think they know this is a year that they want to go for it. So it's Knight versus Thompson in this one, as again, Bobrovsky's not out there to start. I don't think Bobrovsky's going to be out that long. I think this is just a matter of, Knight had a couple of good starts. Tonight, not his best start, but for Vegas, they desperately needed this game. They knew that Dallas had won, so if they don't win this game, they're below the playoff line. Vegas gets an early power play. Marchessault was denied. Florida kills that off. Vegas presses after it ends. The Panthers are stuck on 3 shots. Knight denies Carlson, and then on the 4th shot for Florida, they score. It's Verhaeghe from Luostarinen and Ekblad at 8:04, and then Verhaeghe crashes the net for more. Thompson gets knocked down there. He gets up. He's fine. Vegas presses at 9 minutes. Eichel was denied from in close. Eventually, Vegas ties it. It's Howden from Amadio and Kolasar at 17:09. Kolasar gets a turnover at the neutral zone, and eventually it ends up in the net. Last minute, there's a hold by Thompson as Florida was looking for the lead. We go to the second period tied at 1. In the second, early press by Vegas. Duclair is a net drive that's defended. Eventually, Vegas gets the lead. It's Dodonov from Pouliot at 5:38. So they signed Derek Pouliot this afternoon. They bring him up. He was playing for the Henderson Silver Knights before this. Ben Hutton goes into COVID protocols, so they bring up Pouliot, and he gets an assist here. And I thought he played a decent game. So Panthers then try to answer. Knight denies Raw from in close. Carlson whiffs on one in the slot. If he'd buried that, we're talking about a completely different game here. Reinhardt then was denied on his opportunity on a turnover, while Vegas seemed to be controlling the game. Power play then for Vegas, and they score on it. And this has been an Achilles heel for them as well. And it's Dodonov who seems to be heating up again from Theodore and Eichel at 14:32. Before the period's done, Florida makes it close. It's Bennett from Duclair and Ekblad at 17:38. So we go to the third period. We go to a third period without Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel got hurt during the second period. I think it was a shot block that hurt him, but off of his arm. Anyways, third period, Marchessault has a net drive. That won't go. The shots are 3-1 for Vegas at 4 minutes. Again, it felt like tonight Vegas understood what was on the line. And they don't want to put themselves in a position where they're trying to catch a playoff spot. They have one. They want to keep it. Mammon can't bury one in close. The Panthers press at 6 minutes. This is where they announced that Eichel would not return, that it's an upper body injury. He won't be coming back. Vegas was blocking out the Panthers. With 8:10 left, Florida gets their first and only power play of the game, and they score on it. It's Reinhardt from Ekblad and Barkov at 12:26. So that's a couple of helpers for Ekblad. It's a tie game. Can they get to overtime? Nope. Roy answers 57 seconds later on a turnover at 13:23. Vegas then gets a power play. It's unsuccessful, but eventually Florida pulls the goaltender, and that allows William Karlsson to hit the empty net at 18:10. That's your insurance goal. Vegas wins this one 5-3. They go to 33, 26, and 4 and maintain their spot in the playoffs. Florida drops to 41, 14, and 6. And now this game, the one in San Jose, the one in LA, they just don't look, I don't know, they don't look like the juggernaut they did a week ago. It's weird. Florida going through kind of just this rough patch. But again, Sherratt's going to join the team. I think it's next week they get Sherratt to join the team. And Giroux is very likely to end up in Florida as well. Might be Colorado, sure, but we'll see. 3 stars. I named the 3 stars because I got tired for the app trying to tell me what they are. So I picked Dodonov as the top star for the 2 goals, and that power play goal was huge. Thompson, because he gave them the kind of goaltending that they've needed in Florida for a while, and I would say if they go with Logan Thompson to start the next game, that might be smart. And then I gave Ekblad 3rd star. He did have 2 assists, which, kept the game close and took it from a 3-1 Vegas lead to a 3-3 tie before Vegas ends up winning at 5-3. Your shots, 16-14 Florida in the first, 12-6 Florida in the second, 10-8 Vegas in the third. Final shots, 36-30 for the Panthers. Power plays, Florida 1 for 1, Vegas 1 for 3. The hits, 50-32 in favor of Florida. Knight saved 27 out of 31, and Thompson saved 32 out of 35. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.